So, I never thought I'd see the day where Suicide Squad very well could be the best isekai of the upcoming anime season. Now, technically, we're still finishing up spring, but we got a 3-episode early premiere of this 10-episode anime, Suicide Squad Isekai. And it's not just some random grab of ideas. Like, this is written by the ReZero author, produced by Studio Wit. And as far as I can tell, a lot of the similar staff that worked on Vivi from Studio Wit, worked on this. And let me tell you, it's not just like the first episode's like this banger, oh my god, look at that Sakuga, look at this, like, it's just so fun. By the time I finished, I only planned to watch the first episode today, I was going to get a first impressions out, but I finished the first and I said, I want to see where episode 2 goes. And then when episode 2 was over, I said I wanted to see where episode 3 goes. And now I'm kind of salty that I'll probably have to wait a few weeks for episode 4. But, I was of the camp, because when this got announced, it was a 50-50 split. That's the craziest, stupidest idea, or that's the craziest, most awesome idea. I feel like I was more in the middle, but I was siding more to the awesome. But even I was a little skeptical, could this be pulled off? And as soon as you see, like, all the stuff prior to the isekai portion is just so animatedly, like, fun, expressive, and you're like, oh my god, this could be a Suicide Squad anime. But how is the isekai portion gonna work out for this? And then they get thrown into the isekai world, and you're seeing some of the most creative and visually distinct monsters, and it just has a feel that sometimes I feel like I'm looking at a Final Fantasy Xenoblade style world, and then at other points I feel like I'm looking at a Lord of the Rings style world. The dialogue, the wittiness, and just how I never in a million years thought Clayface would be a weeaboo. But they made Clayface looking half like Muzan from Demon Slayer, as he's constantly talking about isekai and who's the protagonist and how they're ruining the plot convenience, and I'm like, this show shouldn't have been this good. It should have just been a very well-produced, fun, weird show. I've seen plenty of times where you take Batman, you take these different superheroes, and you just kind of make a one-shot that's so, like, it probably wouldn't work long-term, but for a one-shot, it's a fun kind of little mini dessert. Nah, man. Unironically, I think this could be the best isekai of the season. Now, I haven't watched any other isekai other than this, and of course, the show I talked about yesterday, but there is a lot coming out as per any season, and there's a couple other shows that actually do have my interest quite a bit, but I legitimately think this will end up being my isekai of the season. I could be mistaken, but this was a banger. I have full live reactions to all 3 of these Suicide Squad Isekai episodes over on Patreon. I'm going to cover that every single week over there in live reaction format if you're interested. But this is one that's definitely getting covered on the channel. This is the type of show that could just bomb for views, and I just like it so much I do it. I did it for Train to the End of the World, I'd gladly do it for this. But hopefully Harley Quinn and these goofballs are going to be enough to make some views happen, because it's just so fun. The opening was a pure instrumental, which I can't remember the last time I heard that, but such a good song. The ending song and that woman dancing caught me by surprise. The OST in general kind of vibes between like a jazz to a rock OST. Like, one of the first things you see in the first episode is the freaking Joker playing I'm pretty sure the piano playing was how he was steering the vehicle. I don't know how, but that's just like so perfect. The thing that really surprised me was the VAs for all of the members of the squad. So the VAs just all perfectly captured these different personalities, but in ways I wasn't naturally expecting. Like Harley Quinn's VA, like immediately I was like, okay, that's kind of how I would imagine Harley Quinn would sound in Japanese. But Joker, Clayface, Deadshot, like all these characters, I was like, this is just such an ensemble group of talented VAs that are making this shit pop out. The look, the animation, like the shit, half of this shit that's hand-drawn, I'm convinced shouldn't be able to be hand-drawn. It's so expressive, it's so fluid, but it's the snappiness and wittiness of the dialogue that really sells me on this show. It's funny, man. Like, there's this moment where gets up, he's hungry, and he's about to eat a fool. And they're like, no, bro, no. Outside the door, some tasty food. And he's like, just shaking, he's all upset. And they're like, what do you mean? The door should be unlocked. And they're just getting him more pissed off to the point that he rips the door off and they can escape. It's just so fun. Something I wasn't expecting, though, was that they were going to all have powers. Because here's the thing. Some of these characters, like Harley Quinn's just a psycho bitch, right? But in this world, she actually does have powers. So as soon as they go into this isekai world, it seems like something has happened to them, and those who already had powers have their powers modified, and those who didn't now just are like extra strong. We see with Harley Quinn, it seems like she packs quite a mean wallop now, but in terms of Clayface, you know, he's obviously someone who can manipulate all the clay on his body, but now he can also do it to other objects, as we see in episode 3 with how he breaches the wall. But of course, he's struggling a bit more in this world because of the lack of moisture and stuff, but as we see when they bust open the water towers, he just turns that entire thing, and they're just such villains, and I love it, and of course they are, but they treat him as such. So like, they're like, hey, we did it, and he's like, bro, we wanted to take this castle, and they're like, yeah, I'm sure you can patch it up, and then they leave, and I'm like, that is hilarious. Just the fact that like, no, we wanted to seize the castle, but we didn't want to destroy it, and they're like, nah, you'll be alright, just patch that shit up. At one point, swallows this magical blade, and it rips out of his stomach, and then we patch him up, and then we slap a little band-aid on him, and I'm like, this show's just batshit wild. It is, and here's the thing, I walked in thinking this show could work, but quickly leaving the first episode, I didn't realize how well this show could work. And by the end of episode 3, I'm 115 million% in for this show. It clicks with me perfectly, and I think the story's interesting. The idea of criminals being caught, and they're saying, hey, if you do this mission for us successfully, we will slow down the time for you in terms of your time served, right? So the idea that they get thrown, they do some sort of portal nonsense, get thrown in, and it's basically like they're trying to capture their new territory and stuff like that. Now, Harley Quinn's group's not the first one that goes in. We meet someone who's saying that he was the first contact group. But still, it's like, okay, what's going to stop them from just running away? They got bombs in their neck. I think it's like a 72-hour countdown. They have to be back to the chopper in order for the thing to be reset. Otherwise, they go kabloom. Everything about this show actually works. The VAs, the personalities, turning Clayface into an Isekai weeaboo, the references, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. I mean, at one point, they do the meme. What are we, some kind of Suicide Squad or something? And I'm like, they did not, and it works. It really freaking works. I had a blast with all 3 of these episodes, and you know I did because I plan on watching 1 episode today, and I watched all freaking 3. It's saying it's 10 episodes, but I almost feel like there's more planned. I just failed to see that this is only going to be 10 episodes. I'm almost waiting for the surprise split core announcement, but either way, I'm just glad we're getting 10 episodes of this wackiness because I'm loving it. But Clayface is the best. Absolutely. Thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around. Of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, today, so we got Sararis, Ryuki, Beatrice, Zuda, Jonathan Bromlow, Purple Kush, and we also have Rerun. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.